What's happening? Holding it down at the shop. In this video we got a little bit of getting tangled up, getting in trees, all that nonsense. So let's get to it. What's happening there, everybody? This is Brandon coming to you from RiverBlade Knife and Fly Shop. I've got a video I put together here today of some streamer fishing and some nymph fishing under an indicator I did out on the river earlier in the week. This is meant to be an instructional type video so you can have some visuals to put together with some of the language that I give customers here at the shop when it comes to trout fishing with a fly rod. I started out with a weighted streamer like this one, a lead-eyed weighted streamer because the water was pretty high and swift. I needed to get it down. Then I switched over to a nymph rig. After that, I started drifting under an indicator. Did a good bit of damage with a small red copper john nymph like this. And it's a little bit of a rough video taken with a single chest cam. I apologize for some of the audio on that. I tried to clean it up a little bit on the editing. This is a video that is meant to be an instructional type deal for those beginners that are just getting started in fly fishing and want to see what this kind of fishing looks like. So if that interests you, let's take a look at the video. Got a pretty sizable run right here. You can see the current coming through this section. Makes a real nice deep run down that side over there. So we're going to run a streamer through there and see what we get. Water's pretty high right now, so this is a weighted streamer with a lead eye on it, just so we can get it down. Fishing streamers like this, typically you're going to want to go about a 45-degree angle downriver and then let the current swing it. This way you cover a lot of water in a relatively short period of time. There he is. Rainbow trout to the net. Pretty decent fish. Get him pointed in the right direction here. Off he goes. Alright. We're going to continue fishing down this run. See if he's got any friends down there. There's one. Hitting it on the swing. Another rainbow trout on the streamer. Not a bad fish. We've switched it up to where we can drift some flies. Got our indicator on out there and some split shot because this water's deep. And I got to make a cast out there and do some mending, so not overly conducive to me just high sticking or Euro nymphing this particular spot. sure what that was, bottom or a fish. Anyway, you see our indicator out there floating along. We got to get that thing drifting just like we want it to. And when it does anything funny like that, we set the hook. Hook sets are free. It's either a fish or the bottom. If I keep hitting the bottom, which I think I must be doing, I'm going to have to shallow it up a little bit. When fishing this kind of technique, there's no need to be throwing a bunch of false casts trying to get where you want to go. If you'll watch what I'm doing, I put a mend in there when it's about halfway through its drift. That way I extend the drift. Ooh, that's a fish. Oh, it was a fish. Bad hook setting. Too busy trying to tell y'all something. Missing fish. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I put a mend in there halfway through the drift, so it'll extend the drift further downriver. Once it gets way down below me like this and my line starts to tighten out, in one move, I'm just going to take this rod and I'm going to flop it. Boom. That's all it is. I need to be making a bunch of casts in the air. If you're spending time fishing the air, you're not fishing the water. And the more you flopping your flies around in the air, the higher probability of getting tangled up, getting in trees, all that nonsense. So try to avoid all that if you can. Again, I'll let it straighten out. And then in one move, pow. That's it. Very efficient, very easy. Don't have to worry about tangling everything up. There's a fish. Woo. A live one. Well, I fished through this spot with a streamer. Didn't get any takers, of course. Ooh, another jumper. Again, that's not unusual if these fish are kind of lethargic. They're not going to chase stuff around if they don't have to. So we switched over here, and I lost one for sure already because I goofed off. Oh, and he broke me off. Time to retie and try again. Alright, we've had a couple takers so far here on our nymph rig. Drifting flies. That last fish broke me off, what seemed like in mid-flight almost. So I had to retie. We're going to get back at this again. Got our indicator out there, and again, the point of this is we got to get that indicator drifting as naturally as possible. And what you do is manage your line in order to achieve that. I'm going to pick it up right now and move it like that. So that thing will keep right on drifting downriver. Get as long of a drift as possible. And then as it tightens down below me here, in one move, I'm going to pick it up, go right back upstream with it. Very simple, very efficient. And again, the most natural drift possible is what's going to catch you the most fish. If you got that thing floating funny, going too fast, too slow, sideways, all that nonsense, these smart fish will turn their nose up at it. And again, this is a catch and release section of river. This is not these fish's first rodeo, so you got to be doing some things right in order to get bit. There's one. If I can catch up to him. Actually got the hook in that one apparently. Got it. Pretty nice rainbow. Back he goes. Okay, just to reiterate earlier, I came through here with that streamer, and I caught a few fish on that in this run on the streamer, but I did not catch any back here in this particular spot. And I've already pulled several fish out of here drifting flies, so it tells you for sure these fish were just kind of sitting low. So the water's a little high, a little swift. They're not necessarily wanting to come running out and chase something if they don't have to. Since I have switched over to drifting flies, I have yet to actually move. And we're still picking up fish, so I'm just going to keep at it here a few more minutes. Ooh, live one jumping into my lap as soon as I set the hook. And he's going down there. Crazy. This fish is crazy. Let me put this joker on the reel for a minute. Since he's liking to run all over creation. We are throwing a 9'5" weight today. 9'5" weight setup. Mostly because good release. Mostly because on this river I got to do double duty of throwing some streamers on occasion, throwing these double nymph rigs, some split shot indicators, and you can get into some sizable fish. So this is one of the few spots actually here in the southeast that I do throw a 5-weight rod. I don't normally throw 5 weights. I throw a lot of 2 weights, 3 weights, even sometimes 0 and 000. But you're not going to get away with that here just because of the size of the flies that I'm going to have to throw and some of the weight, some of the split shot. Again, this water is normally running this time of year at about 150 CFS. Today it's somewhere around 240 CFS, so you got more current, more depth than the normal flow this time of year from all of our rains we've had. Because of that, I'm having to throw heavier flies, split shot, and do that. Last one gave me a long distance release after a pretty good fight. Let's see what we get here. I think this fish is going to come to the net because I believe he is hooked a little better than that last fish was. That last one, I barely had him on the outside of the face because I think he was in the middle of spitting my fly again before I could catch up to him. This one, I got him pegged on the nose. There we go. Another fat, chunky rainbow. Okay, another fish landed and released. Get back after it. I'm still in the same spot that I've been drifting flies. I have not moved, except I might have shuffled about 10 feet upstream slightly just because I was getting a lot of hits right at the front end of my drift up here. So I moved up just a tad. There's another one right there. If they keep biting, why move, right? I think I've stuck my last 3 hits. It's getting better. Getting better. Another settle down fish. Another feisty, thick rainbow trout. Alright. We're up to 8 fish landed in this particular spot now. This flies upstream from me. I really don't have to do a whole lot of mending or line management. Once it gets about directly out in front of me in the river, though, ooh, I'm gonna miss a fish. Back to missing fish, man. I was 3 for my last 3. That one right there, I stuck him just long enough to feel him. Anyway, when this fly gets about right in front of me in the river here, I'm gonna get the fish that time right before my mend. Wow. Tell you what, you gotta be on your game recovering some line. Sometimes these fish are liking to hit me right when I'm mend my line. He's gonna hit it, make me have to recover a line in a hurry. There we go. Another settle down. These fish keep coming off the fly as soon as they hit the net too, which is good for me. I don't have to do any fly